Right, anyway, and we're back.
Alright.
Right. Lord Buckethead.
Yeah, Lord
Yes,
Buckethead.
there we go, you got it.
A candidate from Maidenhead,
Which
campaigning
is
against Theresa May.
Previously, he stood against Margaret Thatcher.
And oh, fuck hell, that's a strong one, Richards.
Well, you asked me to make you a drink, Twin. I'll make you a proper drink.
Richards has made me a drink of Bacardi and lemonade.
Of lemonade and Bacardi.
Of lemonade with Bacardi as the mixer. And generally I try and keep it reasonable, but Richards has made this one. Oh, look, a big ship.
Well, when I'm...
And he's fucking made it super strong, and it's just caught me off guard.
It's not super strong. It's the same strength as the last one. I just didn't put as much mixer in.
Then it's not the same strength, is it? It's stronger, you fool.
Well, it's about the same. I'm drunk. It's all blurry.
True. Anyway, Lord Buckethead.
My recovery from a hangover, drink more booze.
Hair of the dog, yeah. A common... do you know why that works?
Because it's stopping your system from withdrawal, basically. Your body's now craving the alcohol.
Yes and no. It's not craving alcohol. It's if you have a dependency, like I suppose for you maybe, but for most...
It's not a dependency. I only drink with days ending in a Y. It's not a dependency.
It's a dependency.
It's not a dependency.
It's a dependency.
It's not.
For most people who aren't alcoholics, when they drink, the hangover the next day is their body's been poisoned, essentially. Your kidney tends to... Not your kidneys, your liver. It processes the easiest part of the alcohol first, which, it doesn't have a problem with doing that. And then I don't exactly know the ins and outs of it. This is all like chemistry you need to know, in detail.
Sexy Simon would know.
Sexy Simon will probably know this if you ask him.
We should text Sexy Simon.
You can text him and ask. But basically there's two sort of parts of the alcohol that your liver processes. One is easy, one is difficult. And because there's an easy part first, that's the one it does first, because it's easy to get through.
So your liver's like the bouncer, your alcohol's like all the people trying to get in.
Essentially, yeah, and it's going to let the easy stuff through first because it's not hard to do.
All the hot women,
right?
Yeah.
Then next, because it's like now it's processed, so that it needs to actually get rid of the actual poisonous alcohol part of it, like the horrible part. That's it. That's what makes you feel ill, because your liver's now processing the horrible, nasty shit. So it's the hair of the dog works by, as soon as you've drunk more alcohol, you've given it the easy stuff to process again, so it switches to processing that. And that's why the hair of the dog makes you feel better, because your liver doesn't have to do the hard stuff at the moment. You've given it the easy stuff to process again.
Brilliant.
That's in really super simple layman's terms there. I've heard a more technical version, but it was like 10 years ago that I heard that.
Yeah, Twin, question of the day.
And I'm not a doctor.
Question of the day, right? Alcohol kills around about 300,000 people every year.
Yes. I trust you on that fact. I don't know, but yeah, okay.
And there's around 600,000 registered alcoholics. However, marijuana kills 0 people ever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's illegal.
0 people ever.
Yeah,
not this shit ever.
No one has ever died of an overdose of marijuana.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Fact. So how comes alcohol is legal and is widely available, especially in the UK. You have a pub on every corner, you go to the supermarket, you can buy alcohol, off licences, left, right. So every corner shop that's worth its salt will sell alcohol of some description. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you want a legitimate answer to that, or do you just want a joke?
Yeah, go on, legitimate answer.
A legitimate answer, okay, right. So, in ye oldie times, ages ago... You're going
to say the old paper wood versus hemp wars?
No.
Is that where you're going?
No, nothing to do with that.
Okay. That's a thing, by
water
the way.
in Britain. I mean, I'm talking about Britain. I don't know other countries, but in Britain.
No, the centre of the world, Twin, is Britain.
Okay, so Britain, the most important country in the world, apart from all the others that are more important.
No, because we invented all the great nations in the world. We invented.
Okay, that's fine then.
Apart from Russia, we didn't invent Russia.
No, I didn't imagine we did. Or China. We might have owned China at some point, but
no, we didn't own China. We had a war and stole Hong Kong off them.
Well, no, we did. We were in charge of China for a while. We took Hong Kong when they wanted
independence.
We said, all right then, but we want Hong Kong, which at the time was useful because it was a port for us.
Yeah, it was the main.
And then as soon as it
Asia.
became no longer useful to us, we're like, you can have it back now. That's fine.
Much,
We've got all the use we needed out of it. It's yours now.
Colonialism at its finest.
But yeah, so years and years ago, before purification of and hygiene and sanitation and stuff, water was more dangerous to drink than it is now by a mile. most likely get cholera or other kind of nasty diseases that Africa.
Let me just add, because I know the story you're about to say. Alcohol back then, yes, it was safe to drink. However, so what I'm drinking now is 3.6%.
Yeah.
However, the alcohol that they were giving out to everyone to drink, the beer...
Mm-hmm. Well, you're getting a little ahead of me at the moment.
Oh, okay, sorry, go on.
So water is actually dangerous to drink. And so, but beer, because of its process of how it's brewed and things, actually cleans it. It gets rid of a lot of the bacteria of it.
Fermentation.
It kills a lot of bacteria. So beer and other alcoholic drinks were actually safer to drink than water. So most of the time, people would choose to drink alcohol. To a point where this drinking culture occurred, and actually businesses, specifically in the early Victorian era, would pay their employees in beer, as well as like a small amount of money, but they would pay them in beer. So it became basically a commodity. What's the point of this? Oh yeah, why beer is acceptable.
Yeah, go on.
So basically, beer and alcohol in general became an acceptable part of our society. And marijuana wasn't really... What am I doing next? Fuck knows. Marijuana wasn't really something that was in Britain. It was abroad in hot countries, but not here.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, like even tobacco as well. It's not native to the UK, however, it's all imported.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even tea, really.
Yeah. So had marijuana been like a plant life that was, available in the UK, maybe marijuana would be more acceptable. Yeah. But it wasn't. It was beer. That was the main thing. So we've developed this culture of essentially a kind of dependency of, well, we've always had beer. Why can't we have beer now? So whereas marijuana's come in later as a drug, it's a drug. It must be bad. And while alcohol is a drug and is bad and probably worse, it's part of British culture and therefore we cannot remove it. You try and take beer away from Britain now, there will be an uproar. But if you were to outright ban marijuana, on the whole, there'd be some grumbling from a few people, but most people wouldn't care, really. That's why, because beer is just part of our life and always has been for hundreds of years. And to try and take that away, any government that did that would be suicidal. It'd be better in the long run for humanity, not humanity, but for its citizens. Yeah. But for the health of its citizens and things. But as a party, they would be very, very unpopular. And that's why marijuana, it remains illegal. And alcohol remains fully acceptable. Socially, morally, legally, ethically, everything. Even though it's a lot worse for you
than
marijuana is.
Add a few bits?
Yeah, go for it.
So the alcohol people were drinking back then that was safer than water wasn't at the 3.6% that I'm drinking now, which is about, for 440 mils, is nearly 2 units, about a unit and a half a can. They were drinking, it was about 1% at best.
Yeah.
So enough for you to drink to stay healthy.
Yeah. It's not the alcohol they were brewing it for initially.
It wasn't the alcohol, it was brewing it to a safe liquid for us to remain hydrated.
Yeah.
However, there's a flip side to the marijuana. And it was all to do with hemp being a viable and cheaper alternative to wood to make paper. And other processes like that. So all the big lobbyists at the time that owned these massive forests that they'd sustained to make paper and furniture, they believed hemp was a viable threat to their industry and to their well-being. They therefore turned it to a drug. Made it sound like the drug should be illegal. So therefore the growing of hemp and marijuana was illegal to stop them turning it into paper and other things, because hemp's useful in other ways other than just to smoke.
Yes, that's quite a few uses.
So that was the main reason. But again, I don't think it was the UK, because I think you can grow it in the UK. You grow gorilla in the UK.
You can.
However,
obviously it's not legal, but
no, of course it's not legal.
You'll get away with it if it's for personal use. I think it's a plant of a certain size. You're allowed before they start thinking you're growing it to sell.
I mean, we're not saying how to get away with growing drugs, but if you claim it's for personal use, you want to keep. Hey, you're bleeding.
Yeah, I know.
Why are you bleeding?
It's just a scab on my arm picked off, and now it's bleeding quite bad. Carry on.
Oh, okay. But if you claim for personal use, you don't want to be paying drug dealers. You believe drug dealers are bad people overall.
Yeah.
You don't want to be paying for a criminal enterprise. Yeah. You can prove that it's. I say prove.
If you can show you're not supporting the drug industry,
they'll take the clamps off you. They'll give you a slap on the wrist. You'll have a warning. They'll be like, just don't do it. We'd sort of like it was in America over here before they started legalising it all. It's not. It's frowned upon, but it's police officers won't often waste their time for a little amount.
No.
More likely than not, they'll do a random search. They'll find.
If they find a baggie on you, they'll confiscate it and then slap your wrist and off you go.
They'll chuck it down the drain. Yep, and
Yeah.
then you turn around, go back to your drug dealer, and buy another bit.
Yeah.
And they'll follow you and whatever not. You know.
Depends how clever you are.
Depends how clever you are.
You immediately go to the door you've just walked out of to buy more as the police officer have just stopped you, then you're an idiot.
Anyway.
In the next episode, we'll tell you why cannabis
shit.
is considered bad in America, not the UK.
Oh, will we?
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, you do?